Okay, welcome everybody. Today is Tuesday, November 13th, 2018. My name is Calvin Starr. I'm the founder and COO of Living to Be, and you're joining us for our Zoom affiliate training call that we have every Tuesday night to kind of get together as a company and as a team, just to kind of, connect a little bit and, talk about some of the things that are going on right now. I want to start off first with saying about the Black Friday sale, which is really great. It's created a lot of activity, and I think a lot of you are using it to the best of your abilities to be able to go out there and share. And just for clarification, I know there was a little bit of confusion in the beginning just because of how it was stated and whatnot, but I want to let you know that it's buy any two products and then get one product for free of equal or lesser value. So it's a great opportunity to be able to encourage people that, if somebody's just buying one product, to buy another product and then they'll get one for free. And essentially it's up to about a 33% discount when you look at it from the bigger point of view. And so that's there to help you build your business, to create volume, to go for those ranks, to do whatever you can do to be able to encourage people to try out the Living to Be products. And of course, it works for the skincare as well as the Unleashed and Inspired as well. So you've got the beauty from the inside out that you can work with and play with and talk to people about. It's a really great opportunity for people to be able to try our products out and get the experience of something that they wouldn't be able to try. Because we've had a few calls from people today about people that just, working on budgets, because that's the way things are these days with a lot of people. And this Black Friday sale has been able to give people the opportunity to try something that they maybe wouldn't have tried with. So it's very exciting, and I'm really excited about the sale. And as we come into the weekend, it'll be good for everybody to kind of get out there and push that and have some excitement about it. Now, tonight's call, the subject of tonight's call is the gift of living to be hope for others. And I was thinking about this because, when we get into network marketing, when we get into the idea of what we do as a company and as individuals, when you look at our mission statement, and you focus on what it means, and you really get in touch with that piece of it. It's a really powerful piece. And so that's kind of why I came up with the idea for the gift of living to be hope for others, because that's really what we're encouraging people to do. We're encouraging people to go out there and share the gift of living to be, because if you've heard it on the call, you've heard it, 100 times, where we're talking about sharing a gift with people because we believe in our products and our opportunities so much so that truly this is an opportunity. This is an opportunity to have a gift delivered to you. And, from my own personal experience in network marketing and working with other people, I've seen so many people transform their lives because of a product or an opportunity. Because the believability of network marketing for me is that you don't have to have a college education. You don't have to have a full-time job. You don't have to have a work experience. You don't have to have any experience per se. All you have to be willing to do is to get out and share the products and the opportunity with people. And just based on the sheer fact that if you do it with enough people, you'll find the people that are looking for something to change their lives. And so for me, that's the gift of living to be hope. It's this idea of helping others prosper eternally. And, obviously the big wow factor for me in network marketing has always been the monetary side of it, the opportunity side of it, where you can go from, really, when I first got into network marketing, I had never made more than, $55,000 a year. And that was at my peak as a salesperson out in West Texas, Odessa. Odessa, Texas. And it was a really cool thing, because if I would have stayed there and I would have kept doing the same thing and building the business for my boss, I would have never been able to reach the potential that I wanted to reach in my life, where I felt like I had a gift to give, an opportunity to share with people, products to share with people. And what network marketing did for me is it allowed me to be able to go out there and not just focus on one specific area, but literally to capitalize on the potential of not only the US, but other countries, And, that's kind of where we're headed with Living to Be. We've got the expansion into Canada. We've got different countries that we'll be looking at going into as we grow. And that opportunity allows you, someone like who's just here in the USA, to be able to capitalize on that growth and excitement, with being able to put an opportunity together that will allow you to create the financial freedom that you're looking for. Believe me, I can tell you this, the financial freedom alone just in the USA and our marketplace here is, I think it's like in the number 2 or number 3 spot in the world of network marketing. Like that's the enormity of what we have here. So, when we look at what we're doing as an opportunity, we look at the idea of, what, there's so many people here in the USA, and it's obviously, it keeps growing and growing, and we've got so many different opportunities to be able to share that with people. Yes, getting a party started in your hometown or in your city or your state is a really great opportunity. But then the other part of it is that because, so many of us move around these days and we're traveling and we're doing all sorts of things, we meet people all the time. And because of social media and what we're doing, we can really stay connected with people. And we can actually, look at what we're doing right now. We're on a Zoom training call, and we've got people all around the USA, coming together to connect and share ideas and work together in a way that allows us to be able to grow and expand outside of our little sphere of influence that we have in our cities. So when you're out there sharing this gift, I really want to make it clear and to really encourage you to know that that's what I see this as. That's what I see Living to Be as. That's what I see Inspired as. That's what I see Unleashed as. That's what I see all of our timeless products as, is they are gifts to people. Because the gift of what they'll feel or what they'll experience from those products, but also too, the gift that's really bundled up inside of that product itself with the opportunity. And that's really where the power of what we're talking about here today about the gift, because I really want to create a mindset for you that if because a lot of people, they don't get involved in network marketing because they feel like, network marketing is just about sales and, oh, I'm not a salesperson. And my take always has been is that we're all salespeople, because if you have any friends or if you're married or dating somebody, at some point you've sold them on this idea of who and what you are. And that's why you've come together as friends or spouses or relationships, because of that idea. But all you did, and I want you to see it from this point of view, is that all you did was share with them a little bit about yourself. And because you were willing to share something with that person, what you did is you created a connection, and then through that connection, you shared more. And then over time, it became a relationship, it became a marriage, it became, whatever it was for you. And so you've really got to shift that perspective, and especially too, and maybe you're not maybe the people that I'm talking to right now that are on the Zoom call, maybe this isn't what you feel. But when I share these types of things with you, it's not always about you. Right? It's not always about that specific concept when it pertains to you, but it allows you to be okay with when somebody does come to you and says, oh, well, I'm not a salesperson. You can go, no, absolutely not. That's not what we're talking about here. We're talking about sharing a gift with people, because you don't know what somebody's going to do with it. As I've been working with leaders, and talking to people on the phone and watching, because we're collecting testimonials right now. And I'll say this, if you have a testimonial that hasn't been shared, or you haven't shared with anybody and you want to share it with us, we'd love to hear from you, because we're putting things together to kind of expose this gift that we're talking about, which is the gift of the products, the gift of the opportunity, the gift of what it means to be a part of the Living to Be community and our family, and who and what we are as individuals, supporting each other to help grow and become better. And then also that will allow people to, lose the weight, gain mental clarity, have an opportunity, get better skin, feel better about themselves. And then what happens is that begins to have the domino effect of creating something that has never been created for yourself or for other people. So, when we talk about going out there and being hope brokers, the hope that you're taking to people, the hope that you're sharing with people is this gift. And so if you take that idea, I believe it will make you bulletproof in what you're doing and what you're sharing with people out in the world, by letting them see that, what, you're not trying to sell anybody on anything. You're just sharing your gift with people, and you're allowing people that want to receive that gift to be able to come forward and purchase the product or get started with the opportunity. And we've got a lot of those people that are really excited about it. That's one of the things that's probably the most encouraging for me, is to witness people that have never had a product experience or never been successful at network marketing, and yet come into Living to Be and create that experience with the product, or they have an experience with the opportunity where they're starting to get outside of their comfort zone. And one of the things that I'm working on with my wife, Christina, is this idea that, you know, everything that you want right now that you have never had before, whether it be success, whether it be a relationship, whether it be anything, it's in the unknown. And we've been taught to fear the unknown, right? We've been taught to, oh, well, we don't know what's going on over there, so we don't want to go over there. Even though there's that natural curiosity, we get afraid of the unknown because it feels uncomfortable, which leads me into this idea that in order to create something that you've never had before, you have to be willing to go into the unknown of who you are, the unknown of what may or may not happen if you approach this person, or if you have a meeting, or if you have a party. There's a lot of unknowns that create this uncomfortable feeling with us. And what happens is when people start to get uncomfortable, they immediately start to pull back. That's what most people do. When they get uncomfortable, they pull back. And the idea with creating success in this industry and with the opportunity is to be able to find a way to be comfortable with being uncomfortable for a time. Now, I'm not saying go off and live your life in total uncomfortableness all the time, because that will be exhausting and overwhelming. But it's really about finding out what makes you uncomfortable, jumping into it a little bit, and then pulling back a little bit and observing what's going on in your body and what's going on in your mind. Because when I get into those uncomfortable places in my own life, you know, my mind starts to really get active and starts to play games, so to speak. You know, you've got this mind that loves to protect you. And so a lot of times it will say, oh, you don't want to do that, because if you do that, then this is what's going to happen. This is going to happen. This is going to happen. This is going to happen. And then you realize that your mind has actually stopped you from going into the unknown, which is where everything exists for you. You know, it's easy to fall into that comfort zone and be comfortable and know that, oh, okay, well, I'm taken care of. And so I'm going to convince myself that I really don't want to do something. But what happens over time is that we become stagnant. We become very just kind of complacent. And that starts to drive us nuts. And so we're looking for more. And that's why the personal development side of the gift of Living to Be Hope is really about experiencing something differently and being open to working with other people to help you create this idea that you want to get into something new and you want to create a newer experience for yourself, and then being able to lock arms with people, because that's really what we are. We're a community. And we're saying to you, if you're uncomfortable, reach out, connect with somebody so that you can, you know, be helped through that process of being uncomfortable so that you can be comfortable. Because once you find that place of being comfortable, you'll start to see that there's new horizons. I mean, I'm sure you've heard the expression, which is, you know, you don't know about the horizons. Like, you get to a certain point on the horizon where you thought that was the end, and then all of a sudden you see something more. And that's what I've experienced myself personally. And when it comes to making money, that's what I've witnessed a lot of leaders actually experience when they're making money. You know, people come in and they go, oh, I just want to make, you know, an extra, you know, $1,000 a month, or I want to make an extra $5,000 a month, and I want to make an extra $10,000 a month. And when you reach that level, what happens is you begin to get comfortable with that. And then all of a sudden you start to see things differently, and you're like, okay, wow, you know what? I could go for $15,000 a month. I can go for $20,000 a month. And then you start to move forward to that. And then you start to experience that uncomfortableness because of the unknown. And then you start to pull back a little bit, and you kind of go through this process. And that's what we're here to work with you on. That's what we're here to work with you on, to help you kind of go through this process to be able to continuously expand yourself. I'll give you an example, because this is, you know, sharing some of these ideas is really what the gift is about. Is that I've had people call me up and go, hey, I want to make, you know, I want to make $20,000. I want to be a diamond. I want to go diamond, and I want to make $20,000 a month. What do I need to do? And I'm like, okay, take a deep breath first. You know, and I'll start asking them questions like, well, what's the most money you've ever made before? Or what's the most, because there's two questions for me when I ask people. I say, well, what's the most money you've ever made before in a month? And then also, two, where are you at right now? Right? because I want to know both. And so what I encourage people to do is that if they've made a lot of money in the past, then I say, well, that's great. That's an easy path because you've been there before and you know what to do. So basically get out there and do it. And then I find out where they are. And I say, well, it's not to overwhelm you. Let's just say that you're making $5,000 a month. Okay. And I'm going to say, well, in order to be able to help you get to that place of $20,000 a month, what I want you to do is just take it step by step, because a lot of times we want to jump. We want to go from $5,000 to $20,000 to $100,000 a month, and we want to do it overnight. And so, but the best way to do that is to break it down. And I always tell people, just, you know what, take $5,000 a month, divide it by 2, and add that. And so basically that's $7,500 a month, and make that your first goal. Make that your first step in your success to be able to continue moving forward. What that does is it breaks it down to it's a little bit smaller. You know, like they say, you can't eat an elephant in one bite. You got to eat them piece by piece. And so when you break things down like that, that's the gift that I like to share with people, is really helping them understand that everybody has these big goals and dreams and aspirations for what they want. The best way to achieve those is to take baby steps towards them and kind of get you into the process. Because then what happens, which I've seen a lot, is that as they're going through that process and they start to gain momentum, what happens is they begin to create the success that they want. And that's really where the power of what we're talking about here is. You know, it's getting out there and sharing the products, sharing the opportunity from the mindset of it being a gift. And that takes the pressure off you, okay? That takes the pressure off you thinking that you need to do something to convince somebody that they need to get involved. And it's not about that anymore. It's just like, hey, you know what? I have a gift. And here's my gift, okay? And you share that with people. And what that will allow you to do is to be able to break down the barrier or the walls that people put up to be able to expose them to that gift. And I love a quote by Buddha, or a little story about Buddha, who says that, you know, if you give somebody a gift but they don't receive it, whose gift is it, right? Well, basically it's your gift, because if you give somebody a gift but they don't want it or they don't take it, it's still your gift. And so you have to go through this idea that, you know what, when you're sharing the gift with people, you're just out there sharing the opportunity, sharing the products with people. You're telling people about what it's done for you or what you're excited about, because a lot of people get wrapped up into that idea that, oh, I've got to have this amazing story. I should probably go put on 30 pounds and then lose the 30 pounds so that I have a story about it. And it's not about that. It's about sharing with people what excites you about those things. Sharing with people about what you've heard or other people have experienced, because we've got a lot of people that are going out there and using the products and getting great results from Unleashed and Inspired. And we also have people that are getting great results with all of the Timeless products. And so if you don't have this amazing story, don't let that hold you back from sharing your gift with people. Incorporate the stories and the successes of other people, and to get the message out so that other people can see that there's something here for them potentially as well. And that will get you into the habit of just kind of, you know, always sharing stories. When I tell people about the success of the products, the Unleashed and Inspired, I don't tell stories about me. I mean, I've lost 25 pounds, actually more than that. But it's kind of like I tell people about other people's successes, because I like to share other people's stories because it makes it more real for people. Then, of course, there are some people that I'll share my success story with, and I'll tell them about my journey and my process and everything that I've been going through. But I always, for whatever reason, it's just something I feel comfortable with. And again, you have to figure out what's comfortable for you. Is I always share with people, you know, other people's success, and then I'll kind of get into mine. And so you kind of find your way. Now, the only way to find your way is to actually move towards it. And that's why, you know, getting into this idea of it being a gift is really going to allow you to keep moving forward. Because the moment that you feel like you're selling something or that you're trying to convince people of something, you're going to pull back, because let's face it, none of us like that, right? I don't like to be sold to, but I have no problem when somebody comes up to me and shares what they're excited about or shares what they're passionate about. And maybe that's why I have a different perspective on network marketing and having people approach me and pitching me their product and service. Because as long as I feel their passion and I feel like they really are just sharing with me something that they're excited about, that's been a gift in their lives, I'm willing to totally look at it and say, wow, okay, well, maybe there's something here for me. And again, it's all that energy. It goes back to one of those calls where we talked about, what are you radiating? How are you radiating your energy every day? Are you radiating this idea that you need to get people in to be able to capitalize and get a rank for yourself? Or are you radiating from the place of giving a gift to somebody and saying, listen, I have this gift here, and if you want to be a part of it, then by all means, ask me all the questions you need to ask, get involved, I'll support you, I'll help you create that gift for yourself, and I'll get excited with you. And really, that's what you need to be able to do to create this space for you to go out there and create what you want to create. So I'm going to open this up a little bit. I'm going to ask Lindsay to share a little bit, but I also want to encourage everybody who's on the call to kind of, if you have a gift that you want to share with us so that we can all benefit from this, to be able to hear your story or hear a little bit about what you're excited about, or to be able to hear some of your results that you can tell with excitement and passion so that we can all benefit from it, then I'm going to invite you to do that, because I really want to hear, because it's really great to be able to hear other people's success stories or other people's results. It's really cool to be able to see that and experience it, because it just adds to my ability to even believe more, believe it or not, to believe more in what we're doing as a company and as individuals and as a product and as an opportunity to be able to share that with more people. And that's kind of why we're putting the testimonials together right now with all the people that are experiencing great results, because we're going to get those messages out to people and kind of share that so that you can benefit from it as well. You can share it with other people. You can use it to build your business. You can use it to share in your sphere of influence, your network, and help you create sharing that gift with other people. So I'm going to open up to Lindsay really quick if she's available. I don't know if she's,
I'm here. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, I can.
Okay. Oh gosh, where do I start? First of all, that was just amazing. Everything that you just shared. And you guys will have to excuse me. This has probably been one of my busiest phone days since we've really got the ball rolling here. And I'm just, it's 9:30 at night where I'm at. And I've been starting to get up early because I've noticed that I'm more productive in the earlier hours of the day than the latter. I do have 3 young kids. And for the longest time, I used my kids as an excuse of why I couldn't do things. And I've really tapped into them being my reason why. And the hope that this opportunity brings my family, because they get to have their mom around all the time. I'm here to coach soccer. I'm here to chaperone field trips. I'm here to volunteer at school. I'm here to cook dinner. I'm present. And that's what brought me into networking, is because when I, before getting into networking, I was a waitress. I was serving and bartending, and just could never get ahead. And if I wanted to try to get ahead briefly, it would be just exchanging more hours of my time away from my family. And so this type of opportunity gave me the hope to be able to earn an income to support my family and in the same time be present with them. And I want to gift that hope to other people, because I know what it's like to want to be present and not be able to, because you have to have that responsibility and earn the income to help provide. I had some amazing phone calls today with, one woman I spoke with, single mom of 4 kids, and she wants so badly, her son had qualified for some special trip, but it's going to cost her an arm and a leg to send him. And she wants this experience for him so much, but it's just not in her budget. And so when we were talking today, she said, he's going to have to miss it this time, but I have a year and a half to save up for it. A year and a half, and then I can get there. And I said, well, when would you have to have the money now? And she said, well, I'd have to have $8,000 in 3 months. And I was just like, well, would you be willing to try? Would you at least be willing to try to make this happen? And she said, absolutely. And to be able to gift her that hope of being able to put her hope and ambition to work to earn an income to be able to send her son on an amazing trip. Everybody that I talk to, I mean, if you guys have been on any of my trainings or any of my calls, I say to myself, what if this could change everything? What if this call, what if this training, what if this conversation could change everything for somebody? And that's really the stance that you have to take, because there's so much here. There's so much here for people to benefit from. You just have to decide. You have to ask the right questions, and you have to decide how it is that you want to help them. So I could go on and on and on, because I'm so passionate, and I'm like awake now, and now I'm probably never going to go to bed. But I want to open the floor. I want to hear from you guys, because you guys are the heart of this company. The hope that we're putting out there, and the, helping others prosper eternally, that's in each and every one of you. We can't execute this mission without all of you. And I want Calvin to open the floor, or for you guys to go ahead and unmute yourselves and share with us. I really want to hear from you. So thank you for letting me share, Calvin.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I love that story that you just shared about that woman today, because again, it's the same thing. Nobody knows who's going to do anything with this. I guarantee you that the people that when the first people that introduced me to network marketing had no idea that I was going to be the Calvin star that I am today, where I've made millions of dollars, and now I'm owning my own network marketing company. When I first met Danny, he hated network marketing. He was just totally turned off by it. And you know what? I didn't try and sell him on it. I just shared with him the gift of what it could mean for him. And I let his mind and his ability to think for himself get him to the point where he turned it into where now he is, the CEO of a network marketing company, the founder of a network marketing company, where he's turned his life around 100% because of network marketing. If you put me on the phone with somebody that doesn't like network marketing, I will not try to convince them that network marketing is the way to go, because I don't do that. I want people to be inspired to want to make the change in their lives, because I know that if I motivate them by trying to influence them to do something differently, it will only last as long as my words last in their mind. They will not be able to find the inspiration after a week or 2 weeks after I'm no longer talking to them or in their ear constantly. So let people have that experience where they're going to figure it out for themselves. And all your job is to do is to share the opportunity and the gifts of the products with them, and let them do what they need to do in order to be inspired. Plug them into the system, plug them into the community, do whatever you've got to do. Make sure they've got their product, make sure they're taking their product, make sure they're using their product, whatever you've got to do. But let them find that why that we all know that is there for every single person to be able to create that success. So does anybody else want to share? All you have to do is click unmute on your phone or your device, and you can unmute yourself. And then you can also, I think you can raise a hand, but you don't need to. Just unmute yourself. If you'd like to share with us, then please go ahead. Don't make me call on somebody.
I was just going to say that's you guys are lucky I'm not running this, because that's what I do to them on my Zoom trainings.
Yeah, that's funny.
I'll go.
Excellent.
Okay, so something that I'm super excited about is what I've been doing is I've been reaching out to a lot of my customers, customers, affiliates, and trying to. Hopefully, y'all can hear me. My son's in the background throwing the drum set. But I've been reaching out to a lot of my customers and affiliates and just asking to get their testimonial. So finding out what they're loving most and seeing if they're open to, sharing if they're loving about the
That was crazy.
Okay, hold on one second, baby. Sharing the timeless and stuff like that. Zainab, please stop. But yeah, I'm going to get back to him because I don't know what he's talking about. Zainab, what's wrong, baby?
Oh, Thanks, Alexis. Okay, does anybody else want to unmute and share anything right now? This would be that place where it's the unknown for you and it would make you feel a little bit uncomfortable, but it's exactly where everything is that you want. So who's willing to venture into the unknown and share? And you don't even have your video on, so it's totally kind. It's just you talking. Hey, Steph.
Oh, oh, did I unmute?
Yes, it's a
Oh,
sign.
Oh
Yes,
my
now you have to talk.
I totally did not mean to. I was just going. I think at first I don't speak because I usually have so much to say, but I try to be courteous, you know. And I'm actually not in a good place tonight, so I am uncomfortable right now.
Good.
I'm gonna, you know, I have to be myself, and I'm just not in a good place. So I just get on here just because every time, even today, the Zoom training, the noontime call, every struggle that I had today, I got on these calls, and it's amazing what it does for me for the next couple. It got me through the next couple of hours, and it even pushed me to continue with my calls. You know, I was gone out of the house for a couple hours today. I got to share, sending out a couple of samples of my Instant Smooth, and that, so it's doing that. But I'm in a struggling place with just life being life a little bit. So I had to push myself today, and the only way I could do that was really getting on these calls. So again, I just want to thank you guys so much for having so much great training. The product training that Jennifer did last night, Alexis had done one also with Lindsay. Lindsay, you're amazing. Everybody is amazing. I just don't want to single out one person. But yeah, I'm definitely in a struggle tonight. I'm going to go to bed soon, so that'll help. Tough day for me. But that's really all I think I can share today, is that, you know, just appreciating being able to connect and hear what everybody else is. Lindsay was telling that story about, I cried. I was crying as soon as she told about that lady wanting to send her kid, you know, an amazing. I'm tired of my husband. We're struggling again. I'm tired of watching him get up at 3:30 in the morning, and he makes $6,000 a month. He blows things up for a living. He does explosives, and it's like, I'm so tired of watching him be so tired when he comes home, you know, and that just makes me cry. It makes me hang in there because I know there's hope, and I know that I can do this. I believe in it. I think I'm struggling believing in myself, and I'm just going to put that out there. So the personal development is huge to me. But if I can keep on learning and earning as I go with this personal development and grow, then I'm going to be okay. I'm going to be okay. And I'm going to do this. I'm not quitting. I'm not quitting. So
Good.
anyways, that's about it for me.
No,
Thank you.
You know what? Thank you so much, Steph, for sharing, because, you know, we all struggle. I've struggled over the last 2.5 months. Just with some different things, and I keep the details from the public, but some of my friends know, and some of my closest friends know, and you know, we all struggle, and it's fascinating because we see people and we see them, you know, get on these calls or they do whatever they do, and then you think, oh, they've just got it so great and perfect, and I'm here to tell you, nobody has it great and perfect. We're all here on a journey, working our stuff out, struggling, going through the ups and downs, the emotional turmoil, the financial strains, everything. Everybody goes through it, and it's obviously it's at different levels. And being willing to share that, which is what I've always done, and so I admire you for doing it tonight. It's, you know, some of the biggest transformations in my life, and really that's where the gift is you being able to share that, because that will allow you to have some freedom in what you're experiencing. Because I think what happens is when we keep it to ourselves, we end up carrying this burden of all of the struggle and pain that we're going through. But when we share it with others, it kind of relieves the pressure. I don't know how many times I've called Lindsay, or she's reached out to me because she knows I'm going through something, and I share it with her, and it just kind of releases the energy of it. And I remember, let me see here, it was 2008, so that's 10 years ago. I was going through some really bad stuff, and I was sleeping in my car, and this is well after I made millions of dollars, which is really funny because I left the place that my ex-wife was living in was like, I want to say like 9,000 square feet, but I had left and I was sleeping in my car. And a friend of mine that I had just met a couple of nights ago before that was called me up and he said, hey, I just wanted to check in with you and see how things were going. And I've always been one to just kind of follow my intuition. And so I said, well, let me tell you. And I told him what was going on. And he goes, why don't you come and see me? Let's go for a walk. And so I went for a walk. We walked for about 2 hours and I shared with him everything that was going on in my life. And he's like, wow. He goes, I would have never expected that. I mean, you drive a nice car, you live in a beautiful place, and it sounds like you just need a break right now from your life. And he said, you know what? Because I was going to go out and look for a place that day. I said, well, I've got to go look for an apartment. I want to go get moved out and blah, blah, blah. And he goes, why don't you just stay with me for a couple nights so you can kind of not rush things and whatnot. And so I stayed with him a couple nights, and I ended up living with him and his wife for almost more than a year. Okay. And I rented out one of their bedrooms, and my son lived with me. So he and I were in this one bedroom in his house, and we lived there. But what was really cool is that was that house where I lived, the neighbors across the street was my wife. That is my wife now, Christina. And if I hadn't have followed all of those things, because literally I had a voice inside my head that night that said, get out tonight, go and just get out of here. And then the progress of what happened, or the chain of events that happened, allowed me to be able to meet my wife. And then about 9 months later, we reconnected, and she was in a different place in her life, and I was in a different place in my life. And we started to kind of, talk and meet. And next thing you know, we were dating, and it just kind of took off from there. And I look back at that time and I go, man, that was one of the toughest times of my life, but it gave me one of the greatest gifts of my life. And I truly believe that when life shows up and it gives you these challenges and you struggle and you are really going through something emotionally or financially or just mentally or whatever it is, physically, it's an opportunity for you to just be okay with where you are. Because if you were supposed to be anywhere else, you would be, right? If you were supposed to not be struggling right now in your life, you wouldn't be struggling. Because we all have those moments where we're not struggling and things are great and everything's wonderful and it's wonderful, right? So when you're struggling, it's really just about allowing yourself the gift of being okay with struggling and saying it's okay, because that's going to be the only way for you to get out of that. And I talked about that on the Monday call about dreams into reality. You've got to get real with where you are. You've got to become okay with what's going on in your life, and be okay. Because when you express to me that, you're sick and tired of your husband getting up at 3:30 in the morning, I get it. Be okay with that so that you can give yourself the peace of mind that everything is exactly the way it's supposed to be right now, because that moment of that experience for you is that opportunity to create a catalyst in your life to have you say, you know what, I'm going to make this happen. And that's why we go through struggles, I believe, is to be able to heal something within ourselves, to be able to take the action that we need to take, to be able to do the things that we need to do to create the success in our lives. And so, know that doesn't matter who you are, doesn't matter anything. It just matters that you're okay with where you are right now in this moment, to be able to go out there and do what you need to do. So I commend you for getting on and unmuting yourself. You were probably trying to mute yourself out just to make sure, but that's what life happens. Life opens up these wonderful doors for us. And it allows us to be exposed because it's our time. And so I look at that and I say, you were unmuted because it's your time to shine. It's your time to walk through that fire and just let everything burn off that doesn't serve you in your life, and make you go out there and create something for yourself. So
thank you for that. And that makes a lot of sense to me. And I'm going to learn how to do that. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. You sound better already.
I do.
Thanks, Steph. All right. Does anybody else want to walk into the flames? Anybody else? I'm going to wrap it up. If not, it's already 9:40. So I'm going to know a lot of you. Joette?
Yes, I will make it short. I actually kind of felt like maybe Alexis called you today and told you something I was struggling with. And because your call tonight sounded like you were talking to me. Kind of like, when you go to church and you're like, oh my God, he's talking directly to me. I know he is.
All the time.
Because I have a before and after picture that I put together last night, and it's one, just say I didn't realize how big I had gotten. And so when I saw the picture, I was just shocked. And I put them together, not to show anybody except for myself. And then I thought, you know what, I'm going to share with Alexis. And she's like, oh my God, you have to share that with Calvin. You got to use that. I'm like, oh no, I'm not ready for that. So honestly, I thought Alexis called Calvin, and that's why he's saying all of this.
Well, it's funny how that happens, Joette, because I put a before and after picture up of myself, and what happens is, and this is so natural. This is why so many people freak out, because like I've lost 25 pounds in the last 2.5 months, right? And I started out with a big fast because of some things that I was going through. So I was literally, I couldn't eat, I couldn't do a lot of things, and I was just like, okay, I'm gonna allow my body to heal because I was just putting all this crap in it. And then, and so, still taking my product, still doing my thing, right? And then it just kind of hit me that I needed to make this shift, because it's like, okay, I'm an owner of a health and wellness company. But what was really fascinating is that when I look back at pictures and I compare to what I am now, because even my wife looks at me and she goes, you've never been below 200 pounds since I've met you. And I said, no, I know. I mean, I put on a suit, which I'm going to post some stuff here as soon as I get some time. I put on a suit that I had made in 2002 when my son was born. And I haven't fit in that suit since 2002. And it's cool because it's loose on me right now. And it's fascinating because when I look at the pictures of before and I look at who I am now, I'm embarrassed of what I allowed myself to be. And I go, my gosh, why didn't anybody slap me around and tell me I was fat? It's kind of like, I mean, even though I don't look fat, it's kind of like I just carry my weight. I carry all my weight in my waist, my love handles. But it was really fascinating to be able to see the transformation before and after and going, oh my gosh. And it's embarrassing because you think, oh my gosh, I can't believe I let myself get like that. But the beautiful part about this and the gift part of it is that your story will inspire somebody else to be okay with where they are, to allow them to start their journey. And that's the power of what this means. So when we're sharing our before and afters and we're sharing our story about what we went through, what it does is it gives people the gift to say, you know what, I can do this too. And I don't know how many times I've heard that in my life where somebody goes, if that person could do it, I could do it for myself. And then they create something and they're walking across stage as a diamond, blue diamond, whatever it is, because somebody else was willing to say, this was me before, this was me after. And if that inspires you, then go out there and make something happen with your life. So I appreciate you sharing. I hope you get to that point where you're okay with it. I'll never try to convince you to do it, but just know that it's going to create a lot of, number one, is people are going to praise you because it's going to be an amazing thing. But also, too, it's going to inspire some people to look at their own selves and go, I want to be better. I want to be like Joette.
I know. Alexis has told me all of this, and I'm getting there. I just, it's crazy that you said earlier, because I called my sister last night and I said, why didn't you tell me I had gained so much weight? Like, I didn't even realize it. And when I sent her the picture, she didn't believe that was me.
Wow.
And I think it's because my family, your family, they always telling you how beautiful you are and they love you regardless. So I don't know if that's why no one ever says anything. But I didn't realize it until I saw that picture. So it was really shocking.
Well, but also too, when you
Exciting.
see somebody, when you see yourself every day and you see somebody every day, you don't recognize the small changes and you kind of get used to who they are, just like I got used to my body as well. But when I see the before and after and I go, where the hell did I put the 25 pounds? My gosh, you know,
Yeah.
it's kind of like, you know, it's funny because even my daughter, you know, she's gone through a weight loss too and lost 20 pounds. And it's kind of like, it's crazy to think that they were carrying around that weight beforehand. But you know what? You know, family's supposed to be supportive and you know what? They
Yeah.
probably just didn't notice, just like you didn't notice.
Hmm.
So, you know,
But it's exciting.
don't
And
beat
I
'em
mean,
up.
I'm almost there, especially after I'm telling you, you were speaking to me this evening. So it's very encouraging. And
Yeah.
I'm trying to get out of that comfort zone because, you know, I've talked to Renee a lot and I do tend to stay in that comfort zone.
Yeah, we all
Um,
do. Yeah,
but I know I can't grow unless I just choose to walk out of that.
yeah, and you know what's really cool is that the moment that you walk out of it, you'll go, okay, that wasn't too bad. Our mind is the best protector of our ego, and it's going to do everything it can to protect you. But the truth of it is that the more that you can just be open and expose yourself, the less control your mind has over you and your ability to go out there and make things happen. So, you know, that's if you think about this, Joette. Remember the talk about the pebbles within your integrity hose, and
Mm-hmm.
it's like, you know, that's a pebble for you. And the moment that you're willing to say, you know what, I don't need that pebble anymore. I'm just going to be me because I'm special and amazing, and people will love and respect me for who I am. The moment that you can remove that pebble is the moment that you figure out that there's a whole new flow in your life, whether it be financial, whether it be emotional, whether it be in your relationships, whatever it is. You have to be willing. There's a pebble that's exposing itself right now and you're very aware of it, and you just have to go, I love you, pebble, and kiss it and throw it. Right, because it's not serving its purpose until it's serving its purpose until you get rid of it. Right now it's serving its
Yeah.
purpose, it's perfect. But when you get rid of it, you'll realize, oh my gosh, this is so much better.
Kind of like a weight off your shoulders.
Oh yeah, the moment like you share something with somebody that you know kept from them, or the moment that you know just say what's on your mind to the person that you love or something like that, and next thing you know, it's like everything is okay. It wasn't as bad as you made it out to be.
Okay. Well, thank you.
You're welcome.
I mean, I may not do it tomorrow, but I'm closer to that step than I was before.
No worries. You do it in your own time because your process is perfect for you. So it's all good.
Okay. Well, thank you.
All right. All right, everybody. Well, wonderful call tonight. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you to Joette and Steph and Lindsay for sharing tonight, and and Alexis for trying to share. Thank you so much, everybody, for kind of joining us tonight. We went a little bit long, but that's okay. I thought it was really great information for people to be able to share. So I'm going to say have a wonderful night and get back on the call tomorrow at 12 o'clock Eastern Standard Time for the Hope Call with Bruce and Renee. And I look forward to seeing everybody. If you have any questions about the sale or what's going on, just pick up the phone and reach out, call me, text me, do whatever you can do to get in touch with me. And we'll make sure that we make everything happen for you that you want to have happen. So with that, I'm going to say good night. This is Calvin Starr, and I'm living to be unleashed, timeless, and full of inspiration and hope. Good night, everybody.